19th of February, I came face to face with this Vishnu Prana. One of the greatest prophecies. Now, in the Vishnu Prana, they say this. They say that in the last days, man will eat the sacred cow. The sacred cow. Now, that might not seem anything to you now because the beef industry runs this country. You understand what I'm saying? But just follow me for a minute here. Say, man will eat the sacred cow. Now, let's say you was in ancient Egypt or ancient India, because in India, they don't eat the cow to this day. Even when McDonald's opened up, they had to sell turkey burgers or lamb burgers. Now, if you were in Kemet in the ancient world, and in some parts of the ancient world that later on started eating the cow, if you was in the ancient world, when these particular prophecies that was written, you see, even when they came down even orally, you would think that that would be something ridiculous. It would be no different than say, man will eat the sacred babies. You see, right now, if we say they got a group of people that live in a civilization and they eat babies, you would say, oh, this is horrible. Well, apply the same thing to a cow if you was in the ancient world. Are you getting where I'm coming from here?
Yes.
So when they're saying this particular prophecy, they're not saying this particular prophecy, oh, well, they're just looking and they say they're eating cows. No, they're saying it is the same equivalent of saying man is eating a baby. So, on the 19th, what happened is on the 18th, Spirit told me there was a statue of Urzuli. It was an Urzuli type looking statue, but it was a fountain. And they said, well, you need to go get that fountain because Urzuli needs that fountain to enrich the flow of those particular Haitian souls. So we went and got this fountain of an Urzuli sitting on these lotuses and stuff. And we plugged it up, and the next morning I got up and I threw up, and I started throwing up all day. So I threw up from, let's say, about 10 in the morning to about 1 o'clock that night on the 19th. And I'm saying to myself, well, there's something coming in. I already know this because I know when you go down to South America or when you go down to Africa, when you go to Africa, what they do is when they want you to go on a journey, when they want you to take a spiritual thing where you're going to tap into high information, they give you this root. You eat the root. You throw up everything until you purge yourself and clean yourself out, and there the spirit can dwell. Down in Peru, they got the same kind of thing. They give you this root, you throw up, and you throw up until you can completely clean your body out. So what happened with me, I started throwing up in increments the entire day. So I threw up, couldn't keep nothing down. You see what I'm saying? The entire day. I said, now something is coming in. Something is coming in. So what had happened was there was a current by a god by the name of Apanuk. Apanuk is a deity that is down in Nubia. It's a three-headed lion deity that later on became a form of Sekhmet. He was an earlier form of Set in the pre-dynastic Set, which is the primordial deity. And he also is an early form of Ogun and stuff, of Ogun. So this Apanu energy started coming through, and I said, yeah, he would also be a form of Ra Heruka Hudi, or if you're in the Crawley system, Ra Har-Kuit, which is the third chapter of the Book of Law, when they talk about Ra Har-Kuit will arise at the fall of the great equinox, when the double-wanded one will rise, Ra Heruka Hudi, or Ra Har-Kuit, and bring fresh fever from the skies. Now pay close attention, because when we get on into this, we're getting ready to break this thing down. So this Ra Har-Kuit energy, which is number 19, a Sekhmet energy. This lion-headed deity that you can find in E. Wallace Budge's book called From Fetish to God in Ancient Egypt. E. Wallace Budge book, there's a picture of a god in Nubia. His name later on is Apanuk, but that's a later translation because we don't know, because Budge just said this lion-headed deity of Nubia. So anyway, this entity started coming through on the 19th, and I said, yeah, because I've been throwing up. So what happened was, after, let's say about 12 o'clock, I came down with the shakes. It was almost like kicking heroin. If I had ever been on that, I'm quite sure that's how I felt. So I said, okay, I'm going to get off everything. So I said, okay, then we're going to shut down on drinking and everything and just to see what it was. And I thought it was that, but it wasn't. I thought it was the drinking, but it wasn't. Because I don't drink. I can't drink during the day. I only drink during my music. You know, take 3 sips. So it wasn't that. What it was, what we found out what it was, about a month later, I messed around and ate a damn steak and cheese. And came down with the same shakes. So
wow.
what was happening was, it was saying, what it was, they was purging me of the beef. The beef. Now, what is happening, and everybody tell you, you know, they got, you know, any kind of burger, any kind of beef, all the beef, all of it, you got to get off of it. You see what I'm saying? Because what it is, now it's interesting here, because there's big-ass signs all over the South of Chick-fil-A. Now, Chick-fil-A, they have this campaign, if you ever down south, and they might have them up north where they have the cow, and the actual cow is trying to give you ways to eat chicken, but not eat the cow. So one of the signs said, now look at this, check this out. When we went to pick up the statue for Erzuli, we was riding back home with the statue the night before. I started to throw up the next day, and there was a big sign said, beef puts you to sleep, or beef makes you, beef puts you to sleep, or it makes you sleepy, or makes you sleep. Now, some people will say, the sluggishness of the beef would be, but no, that's not what was going on. It was a spiritual thing. The beef puts your consciousness to sleep. You see what I'm saying? Now, think about this now. McDonald's can create a turkey burger, or the big three, McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's. It's nothing for them to create a turkey burger. They give you a fish. They give you chicken. You see what I'm saying? They could create a turkey burger. You understand what I'm saying? And make a killing, make millions. But the beef industry won't allow that, or the government won't allow that.
Right.
You understand where I'm coming from here? Now, yes, you can get turkey burgers from all things, but the big three, you see what I'm saying? They won't allow that. You see what I'm saying? Because the beef keeps the people's consciousness asleep, eating Heru's body. You see what I'm saying? So when the Vishnu Prana is saying that, the Vishnu Prana is saying in the last days man will eat the sacred beef, the sacred cow. Now you got to understand something, how powerful this is. Do you know one of the resurrections, and when they dug up King Tut's tomb, there's some stuff that they got off his sarcophagus. In the hieroglyphics, there's a book called the Book of the Divine Cow. A lot of people have never seen it because it costs you $300 to get the book that is translated. In 1996, I went into right before these white boys got the internet, I went into a bookstore, and I ended up buying the book for $25. But the book costs about $300 now. It costs about that. But in that particular book, they got a section of the Divine Cow. There's a portion of, let's say, these texts that come from the Apocalypse. The Apocalypse stuff. They got, in ancient Egypt, a part of that Apocalypse era, these apocalyptic type texts. One of them is called the Book of the Divine Cow. So now the Divine Cow is not only Hathor, the Divine Cow is also the Milky Way. You see? And you remember now the Milky Way formed a perfect DNA spiral a couple of years ago. So, the cow is key. It's essential. If we're connected to the Milky Way and all the gods and all this stuff is all coming together now, and the Milky Way is a part of it, you see what I'm saying? And we also have the prophecy of the Divine Cow and a book of the Divine Cow. What better way to keep people asleep than to feed them the cow? You see what I'm saying? Yes. And America being number one at the forefront of all the steaks and all this type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? And the ground beef, which it takes. The ground beef is coming from, it might be 3 or 4 scraps from 3 or 4 different companies that they put the ground in one ground beef. And that ain't talking about all the hormones and all the other stuff, but the point I'm trying, and also the cows, knowing they're going to die, get depressed. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, it shuts the consciousness down. So whenever this particular entity current came through and I started throwing up, what it was purging me of the cow. You see what I'm saying? People talking about the pork. No, the cow. The pork is bad enough. That's a whole other story. But the divine cow, Heru. You see what I'm saying? You see. And so it's interesting because, you know, in the Moses thing with the golden calf, that's nothing but retold versions of the scripts that came from the book of Divine Cow, which we now have. Here's another book I want to give to people.
What's up, guys? This is Kyrie with White Rabbit Psychedelics, and I get a lot of questions of, you know, is it safe? You know, if I take a microdose capsule, will I go crazy? I'm a little weary. So I just wanted to do a quick little video on what happens when you take a pill, and just let you know that nothing crazy is going to happen, nothing weird is going to happen. I got a capsule right here. This is pure grade A, you know, psilocybin. I'm going to take a capsule, and I'm going to just show you guys that just nothing can happen.